I killed someone. And the worst part? That's not even the thing that keeps me up at night. It's what happened after. What I saw, what I chose to do, and the person I became because of it. You probably already have an image in your mind, a gun, a fight, a dark alley, maybe something sudden, something dramatic. But that's not how this happened. It was slow, it was quiet, and it was avoidable. That's what makes it worse. Let me start from the beginning, and please, stay with me until the end. Because I need someone to hear this. Someone real, someone human. And if you're that person, thank you. This started 2 years ago. I had just moved into a new apartment. Old building, creaky floors, the kind where the walls feel thinner than they should be. I was trying to get my life together. New job, new routine, fresh start. My upstairs neighbor was this older man named Henry, maybe late 60s, lived alone, wore slippers with socks even in summer. He kept to himself mostly, but when we'd cross paths in the hallway, he always nodded, polite but distant. But over time, I started noticing things. Weird noises at night, furniture scraping, muffled yelling, and sometimes actual crying. At first, I thought he just had a loud TV or maybe a podcast. Then one night, I heard glass shatter. Something heavy hit the floor. And silence. That silence was the first moment I should have acted. But I didn't. I sat on my couch, staring at the ceiling, telling myself, it's not your business, it's probably nothing. But it wasn't nothing. Weeks passed, then months. Henry looked worse and worse. Thinner, jittery, eyes darting like he hadn't slept in days. I started hearing a woman's voice, arguing with him, screaming. But whenever I saw him, he was alone. One day, I asked casually, everything okay up there? He just stared at me, like I'd said something I wasn't supposed to. Then he smiled, not with his eyes, and said, yep, just me and my ghosts. Then walked away. That night, I couldn't sleep. Because here's the thing, I used to be a caretaker for my mom. When someone is slowly breaking down, mentally, emotionally, you can see it. And Henry, he was slipping fast. One rainy night, everything boiled over. It was close to 2 a.m. when I heard what sounded like a violent argument. Things crashing, screaming. And then a deep, blood-chilling silence. I grabbed my phone, walked out into the hallway, stood under his door, nothing. I was about to go back in when, bang, the sound of a chair falling, then feet stumbling. Then Henry opened the door, and he was bleeding. Not much, just a cut on his forehead. He looked at me, and all he said was, she tried to kill me. There was no one else in the apartment. I helped him sit down, called an ambulance. But when the paramedics came, they pulled me aside and asked, are you family? I said no. They nodded and left it at that. They took him to the hospital. That's when I made the mistake. I went into his apartment. I told myself I just wanted to make sure it was safe, that there wasn't a fire hazard or broken glass everywhere. But really, I wanted to know if she was real, or if Henry was alone in more ways than one. And what I found made my stomach drop. There were no signs of anyone else living there. No woman's clothes, no toothbrush. But in the bedroom closet was a small locked chest. I opened it. Inside were letters, drawings, photos of a woman. The same woman in every photo, smiling, holding hands with Henry. And in the last picture, she looked sick, very sick. The date on the back? 1997. That's when I realized. He wasn't living with her. He was living with the memory of her. She had died nearly 25 years ago. And in his mind, she never left. He talked to her, fought with her, loved her. And sometimes she turned on him. Because that's what his mind had become. He was sick, but the world had left him behind. And here's the part that breaks me. After that night, Henry was put in a psychiatric facility. He didn't have family. They contacted me, since I was the last person to see him. They asked if I wanted to visit. Say goodbye. I didn't go. I told myself I had work. Told myself it was too painful. But the truth? I was scared. Scared to face the man I'd watched slip through the cracks. Scared to admit I hadn't done more. He died 3 weeks later, peacefully in his sleep, but alone. And here's why I said I killed someone. Not in the legal sense, not with a weapon, but through silence, through inaction, through doing nothing when someone clearly needed help. And that's what keeps me up at night. Because we all walk past people like Henry every day. People hanging on by a thread, talking to someone we can't see, crying behind thin walls, begging for help without saying a word. And we ignore them. Tell ourselves it's not our business, that someone else will step in. But what if we're the only ones who could? Henry didn't need saving from a ghost. He needed a friend, a voice, a moment of real human connection. And I didn't give him that. So yes, I killed someone. But the worst part? I could have saved him. And I'll carry that forever. If you're still listening, thank you. This isn't the kind of story that gets millions of views or viral reactions. But it's real. And if it made you feel something, even for a second, then maybe Henry's story didn't just disappear. We're building this little channel with a dream to reach 1,000 subscribers. To keep telling stories that matter, that stay with you, that make you pause. So if this story spoke to you, even just a little, please hit subscribe. Help us reach that first milestone. And help us keep giving a voice to stories that often go unheard. Thank you for being here. And remember, sometimes listening is the most powerful thing you can do.